Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we're doing a standalone book review from the infamous author John Green. Background: if y'all don't know who he is known for writing books like The Fault in Our Stars, Finding Alaska, Paper Towns, and even came out with his first nonfiction book, I would say a couple years ago. And then this year he came out with his second nonfiction book, and I finished it. So I have read every single book this man has ever written, and I, of course, had to get my copy of Everything is Tuberculosis, the pre-release. It is a signed edition, and it is the history and persistence of our deadliest infection. This is his heart and soul, and you could tell when reading it. I love the inside. It's different cell design, and also I said it was signed, it's signed, so that's his signature. Love that. And this is forever going to be my copy. So I did rate it 4 stars. There was a reason why, but let's get into the Goodreads review. So on Goodreads, I said, I learned so much from this book. John Green wrote this as a nonfiction, but also with a narrative, mixing facts and information with stories from those with tuberculosis. Reading it, you could feel this book was his baby and all the passion he had for it. I would recommend this book. I'm not a science person, really, I'm not. But this book made me want to learn more about tuberculosis after seeing how many classic authors died from it. So I said that because my bread and butter of novels, as I'm slowly doing more book reviews, you'll see this more. I read a lot of classic novels. That was my bread and butter ever since I was a kid. Ever since I got into high school, I fell in love with classics. And at the top of my bookshelf, 2 above this one, are all classic novels. So reading this book, I really love the different facts you learn about tuberculosis. For example, there's a lot of classic authors who passed that I have books for. And if they didn't die from tuberculosis, they could have written and significantly changed literature in their day and time. I'm a big advocate for classics. So saying that, just imagine what they could have written. George Orwell, he could have done so much. And so this book is not only nonfiction, he writes it in a way it still feels like his other books. It feels like it's not a nonfiction. It's like narratives with facts. The way he intertwines them could tell you how great of an author he is because of that. He uses words that are not too big, not too scientific-y, that even somebody who not a big fan of science understands. And that's when I love an author who can do that. He makes me want to read more nonfiction, even though I read a ton of nonfiction. Just his style, I wish more people wrote in his style. So this book is about his journey with tuberculosis. He doesn't have it. He does have family members who died from it, but he basically went to I think it was South Africa, and met people who had tuberculosis and basically listened to their stories, looked at why their population was getting a lot of tuberculosis cases compared to Germany, and all that's mentioned in the book, and why don't they have the resources that people in other countries have, and it's all based around healthcare. And it's really interesting because what we have, we could help others, but people don't, and that's because of pharmaceuticals, and that's all explained in this. I don't want to give the book away, even though in all my other book reviews I spoiled things, even though I put on a warning, spoilers. It's just this, like, the journeys of the people is the reason why you want to keep reading it. Now, since reading this, I know a ton of tuberculosis facts that I could spit out, and people are like, oh, you know about tuberculosis. Is that because you have a autoimmune disease? And I'm like, no, it's because I read a book. So I think that's pretty funny. But there is a boy named Henry. He is one of the main people in this book. His narrative, him and his mom, and their whole story about how they lived, what they've been through with this infectious disease. They're just two people who has the disease had, and it impacts so many more people. They were just at the hospital when he was there. They made a huge impact to him, and I love that he had that. He talks about populations, pharmaceuticals, third world countries versus like Germany and the United States, Europe, and all these other places. He worked very hard on this book, and you can tell literally his heart and soul has been put in this book more than the other anthropology, even though I love the other one. This one I felt like really, this was one of his best books he's written in the last couple books, I would say. Everybody Loves The Fault in Their Stars. I love that one too. But for a nonfiction, this is one of my favorite nonfiction books I would say I've read. What else can I say? I really loved, okay, so the places he went in to was Laka and Sierra Leone. Those are like the two main places in this book. I was going to tell you all those, but I forgot the names of them, if I'm being honest. But if y'all have not read this book and you like nonfiction, I know a lot of people hate nonfiction, but if you do, if you read it, let me know. I want to know what y'all think, and if this book made you think more about tuberculosis than you have previously been thinking about it, or if you learned a lot about it and was like, I don't know what tuberculosis is, I just know I get a shot and it's a bubble under my skin if I'm going to work in healthcare and schools. Let me know. All right, I'll see you in the next video.